So after all the talk, all the discussion, the investigation, we finally found out what Ohio State was going to do with Urban Meyer. We finally found out. God, it's got to be great to have a 900 winning percentage and a national title. It's got to be great. Because you have to think that at a lot of other schools, a lot of other programs, a lot of other coaches, this whole situation and investigation would have led to one big sayonara, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, you're fired. But not the Ohio State University. No, 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 no. And not Urban Meyer. No, 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 no. He was punished with a suspension of 3 games. That's right, 3 whole games. Even though after their own investigation, the institution determined that they didn't feel like Urban Meyer did enough when it came to holding Zach Smith accountable around domestic abuse allegations. The suspension is for 3 games. This, to me, is the perfect example of why, when people talk about the integrity of college football and everything else, they should blow it out their smokestacks. It's a business, they're about money, and the fact is that Urban Meyer is really good for that school and has helped them make a lot of money by putting them in the national spotlight and keeping them there where they've been in the past, winning a national championship, getting to the college football playoff. That's what matters the most. That's clearly what the university cares about here. Because if they cared about other things from a moral standpoint or this or that or any other garbage, Urban Meyer at the very minimum would have been suspended half a season, if not an entire season, if not flat out fired. But he wasn't. Because clearly the university didn't care that much about domestic violence in general, and more specifically Urban Meyer's action, or specifically lack of action in this matter. And to me, what Ohio State tried to do here was the worst possible outcome. If you care, you're not suspending the coach 3 games, period. Like I said, it's half a season, possibly a full season, if not flat out fired. If you cared. If you didn't care at all, you do a lip service and investigation and then don't suspend him at all and stubbornly dig in your heels and say, you know what, screw it. He's not the one that was beating his wife. He's not the one doing this. We don't see where he did anything that was fundamentally wrong. He sent it up the chain of command, let's go. Instead, it feels like Ohio State really didn't care, really wasn't concerned about whatever they might find in the investigation, found a little bit that maybe they're supposed to be concerned about, but again, because of the 900 or so winning percentage and the national title, they couldn't give 2 flying flips about. But they also knew the backlash that was going to be out there in the public and from the media if they did absolutely nothing, so they came up with 3 games. And to me, that was even worse. Because it showed me that you still don't care and don't care at all, but that you're trying to sit there and play some type of public relations game. You're trying to sit there and put up a false pretense that you care. Look, to me, everybody can have an opinion on different things. And ultimately, some people might not think it was a big issue with Urban Meyer. Other people think the sky is falling with this issue. And I don't really know where I fall with it. But here's what I do know. If you believe something, stick to it. And I'll respect you at least for sticking to the belief, even if I don't agree with the belief. Clearly, to me, Ohio State did not care. And imagine the whole notion of this, that something this important, allegations this significant, talking about potentially going back years, and you allow the school to police itself and dispense its own punishment if you're the NCAA. How does that work out? You were expecting the school with millions upon millions of dollars at stake, with potentially even more money at stake, with reaching the college football playoff, which they could do under head coach Urban Meyer once again, to police themselves to the point where it could negatively impact them financially. Like, who in the hell is going to have that type of moral background or backbone to make that type of decision? Let's get real here. That's just not the real world. So what Ohio State did is said they don't give a crap, but tried to pretend like they gave a crap by suspending the guy for 3 games. Just come out and say, he reported it, that's it, we feel he did nothing wrong, we stand behind our coach, and we're not suspending him at all, and damn the backlash. That I can respect. That I can appreciate, even if I don't agree with it. But to sit there and kind of go middle of the freaking road here and try to play to all masters means you ultimately ended up serving none of them. You still look like you didn't give a crap. You still look like you didn't care, because the truth and the reality is you didn't. So if that's the case, don't be disingenuous. Don't be dishonest. Don't give a crap. If North Carolina could sit there for 2+ decades and have a bunch of fake classes in order to sit there and get their student athletes through and keep them eligible, but is able to get away with it because they were smart enough to offer it to all students, not just the athletes. You got Alabama and so many other notable programs and all the grime that they do and the crap they allow their players to get away with. If they don't have to care, Ohio State shouldn't either. The suspension was weak. It was pathetic. If you actually cared, you would have done a whole lot more and sent a very strong message about what you stood for and what you, more importantly, didn't stand for. And instead, the university went in a different direction. They took the cowardly route, and they deserve all the heat and the freaking backlash they get for it. Either take a stand and send a real strong message that you're not going to put up with that crap, or take a stand and send a message and say, you know what, screw everything else, we're here for football. Who gives a crap about the rest? At least be honest about it.